Here are, I'm going to do a couple examples real quick of this long division and synthetic division just to make sure that we're all on the same page. So these are just a couple examples out of the book that were not in your homework. Hopefully this will be enough practice so that we can get the homework done. So we're trying to do 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 18x minus 8 divided by x minus 4. I also haven't done these problems yet, so if I mess up, please don't yell at me. First of all, I know I need to put 2x squared up here, because when I do 2x squared with x, that will give me the 2x to the third that I'm looking for. And then 2x squared times minus 4 is minus 8x. So again, these two terms in red come from 2x squared times that, 2x squared times minus 4. So then we take this and we're going to subtract. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. Negative 3 take away negative 8 is negative 3 plus 8. So that's 5x. I already messed up. This should have been 8x squared. Bring that down, it's 5x. Bring down these other terms. I get minus 18x and minus 8. So now, again, I want to take this and turn it into that. My goodness, I'm messing this up. This should be squared. Okay? So I want to turn just regular x into 5x squared. And in order to do that, I need to multiply by plus 5x. Then if I take the 5x and multiply to both things over here, that'll give me 5x squared minus 20x. Again, at this point, I'm going to subtract 5x squared, take away 5x squared is 0. Negative 18 minus negative 20 is 2x. I bring down the minus 8. Then, again, the last step is I want x to become 2x. And in order to do that, I need to multiply by 2. If I do that, I get 2x minus 8. And, luckily enough, this problem has a remainder of 0. Right? Because 2x minus 2x is 0, and negative 8 minus negative 8 is 0. So my answer to this is going to simply be 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. Again, if you wanted to check your work, you could take 2x squared plus 5x plus 2 and multiply it with x minus 4. Okay. I'm going to do it just for the sake of doing it. If you don't want to check your work, then go ahead and skip this part. Minus 8x squared plus 5x squared minus 20x plus 2x minus 8 is what I get if I multiply green with green. Then I combine like terms to get minus 3x squared. I combine like terms to get minus 18x. Bring down this other stuff as minus 8 and 2x cubed. And sure enough, that's what I started with underneath the radical, or underneath the division sign. So since this matches this, I know I did the problem correctly, and this is our solution. 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. Alright, let's do another one real quick. This one's kind of a beast because it goes 3x to the 4th. That doesn't change the process at all. It just makes the problem one step longer. Plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. And that is being divided by 3x minus 2. So, if we take this now, again, I want to turn leading term into that. So to turn 3x into 3x to the 4th, I need x cubed. Then I distribute. Okay. Oops. So x cubed That gives me 3x to the fourth minus 2x cubed. And these I will subtract. That's gone. Negative 5 minus negative 2 is negative 3x cubed. Bring the rest of this nonsense down. Plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. Then again, I want this to match that. So in order to get 3x to become negative 3x to the third, I need to multiply by negative 1x squared, or just negative x squared. If I do that, I then get negative 3x to the third plus 2x squared. Now, something really interesting happens here. When I divide these, those cancel, and those cancel. And so I'm just left with 3x minus 2. I did not expect this to happen, but this is a good teaching point. So since both of these terms canceled out, because I had double cancellation there, I'm going to just finally do, okay, how do I get from 3x to 3x? I don't have to do anything, so I can just put plus 1 up here. I'm going to take these red marks off. So to go from 3x to 3x, I just put a plus 1. And then when I distribute that, it's 3x minus 2. I subtract 0, 0. My remainder is 0. So this is my answer of x to the third minus 1x squared plus 1. You do not have to put in the 0. So we talked about with synthetic division. Oops. You do not have to write your answer like this. You do not have to put the plus 0x in there. Since we're writing the final answer, this is not necessary. So you can just write it like x cubed minus x squared plus 1. Okay, so those are two examples of long division. Let's buzz through two synthetic divisions real quick. Again, the synthetic is much quicker, but there are a couple little weird things that can happen. If you were dividing by x plus 3, this represents negative 3 as a solution or as a 0. So negative 3 is the number you will put in the box. I then bring down these coefficients, or the numbers in front, but just the numbers. So 3, 17, 21, and negative 9. I didn't have to put any zeros in here because this was x to the third, then x to the second, then x to the first, then just a number. So since I didn't skip over anything, I didn't have to put any zeros in there. To do this, I'm going to drop down the 3, and then I multiply below the line by box number. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and now we add straight down. 17 minus 9 is 8. Then again, we multiply. 8 times negative 3 is going to be negative 24. I add those together. 21 take away 24 is negative 3. Let's do this in the same color. That is negative 3. Then finally, we're going to take negative 3 times negative 3, which gives me positive 9. When I add straight down, I get 0. So this is my remainder. This is my C value, that's my B value, that's my A value. So my answer then is 3x squared plus 8x minus 3 with no remainder, so I don't have to talk about that. And again, if you wanted to check your work, you could multiply the answer that we got down here with the division portion up here, the x plus 3. And when you multiply those together, you should get 3x to the third plus 17x squared plus 21x minus 9. Not necessary, but on Thursday's quiz, if you have extra time, checking your work wouldn't be a bad thing. Last one. This is, again, one of those where This just happens to also be -3, so -3 is going to go in our box. This is where we do have to insert zeros, though. What comes before the division sign is x to the third plus 27, which is 1x to the third, but there's no x squareds, so we have to put 0, 0, and then positive 27. So this is x to the third. And again, you don't have to write this above, but if you want to do that just to kind of keep track of everything, you can. We drop down the 1, multiply. -3 times 1 is -3. When I combine that with 0, I get -3. I then multiply the -3 with the box 3 and get positive 9. Add those up. 0 and 9 makes 9. I then multiply -3 times 9 to get -27, and sure enough, that comes out to be a remainder of 0. So my answer here is x squared, well, minus 3x plus 9 is my answer. So again, just to reiterate one last time, multiplying this times that should give me the binomial x to the third plus 27. And I recommend you do that just to check your work, but it's not strictly necessary. So that's the video of how to do this. I will also say that in Schoology, I put, you'll see this PDF that says review long-synthetic division. This is not required, and I will reiterate this in class tomorrow. You do not have to do this worksheet, but if you want extra practice with the long division, there's just 4 of each type of problem on here. Again, not necessary, but just trying to give you as many options as I can. So, until tomorrow.